Right.
And everybody cheated till you got caught.
Right. Right.
See, and NASCAR even allowed it on certain cases on NASCAR side. It wasn't Richard Petty; it was NASCAR side. You know, but before word got out, the engine was sitting in the Holiday Inn parking lot.
So, one of the things I remember as a younger guy watching racing and being around racing was every Sunday when race day came that they'd walk down pit road and put a sack full of STP in every car.
Yep.
It was a perk for the teams back then.
Exactly. That was a good Andy Granatelli promotion. And everybody got a handful of T-shirts. So when you went out on a date, you wore an STP shirt, right?
Yeah.
Just not the pajamas. I heard everybody hated the pajamas pants
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. You know.
I remember a story Dick May told. I don't know how well you knew Dick, but
Oh, yeah.
he told a story about when he was stopped at a railroad crossing. Speaking of promoting STP, and he said he was, waiting for the train to come by. The arms come down, and he said he looked at it and he takes a big old STP banner. He runs out to the arm, ties it on, ties one side, ties the other. He said, "I just got it on." And then the arm starts coming back up. He said he came by a year later. The banner was still there.
They claimed that there was an STP sticker on one of the space shuttles. Because you put a STP sticker on all the time. Then I remember when I went to work with STP, like at Daytona, Bowser would be there. I want to think he was running Todd then, if I had to guess. And he'd come not once or twice. He'd make Dick Trickle look like a pauper. Keep coming back with the wagon, 2 wagons. Second year, they'd bring 2 wagons. And then 2 guys would come. And I said, "Don't worry, you check Bowser's shirt, Bodie is, to load them up. I'm surprised Bobby told you about the dragging that car out of number 1 pit, but he never said Jack beat the hell out of Strop.
He talked about the guy that the reporter that Jack knocked out. I don't know. Jack won the race or something, and AJ ran second or whatever. And the headline the next day said something like, "AJ lets the boss win one" or something like that. And the next time they were back there, they saw the guy coming up and pow! Out, Jack knocked him out. And then. And on top of that, him and Butch Hartman at Michigan, when Hartman was found with the gas tank there, I'm sure Jack was just ready to fight,
Ready to fight? He broke one of their arms with a fucking
oh my
bar
gracious.
Or drive shaft or something.
Say that again, but don't use the F word.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Just say that again, but don't use the F word. Seriously, he broke his arm. Go ahead.
Well,
He can edit this.
No. Some of that kind of stuff, I don't, rather not. Yeah, but certain things,
Yeah.
We all knew Jack was a fighter. I mean, we knew that. Now some rumors said Hartman because Hartman lost the title that year in '75 because of that. But somebody said Hartman won that fight with Jack because Jack protested him. Now I don't ever remember Jack losing a fight, but I mean I don't know if you were there or not for that.
Jack was a fighter. He didn't lose. I don't remember losing any fight.
Me either.
So, a question from me again would be to summarize, and this has been fantastic to hear all this stuff, and I've been fortunate to hear it a lot.
And thank you, Kyle Harvey, for putting this together.
Can
I
you
appreciate it.
summarize your career and say sum it up for us?
Yeah, what kind of legacy do you think you are gonna leave, or what do you think about
Well, I'm glad I did what I did. I wish I still could still do it. It wasn't for my friend Harvey, I could do nothing. No.
Well, everybody speaks. I mean, Bob Shack speaks highly of you. AJ, like I said, speaks highly of you. Arnie, and I mean, you're not called the mayor for nothing in the park there. I mean, everybody. I hear you still doing work for people. Still, writing out their itineraries and making sure this is going here and all that. And
I don't know about that, but I depend on him for a lot. More than
paybacks, right?
More than I
paying it
should.
back.
More than I should. But I have nobody else to turn to, and it is what it is,
Outstanding career, my friend.
Yeah.
We, I mean, the name Lou Sipolt is, is it a household name? No, but is it a name that when a household face? Everybody knows the face, but a household name? No, until we get this out.
This is why I urge you to do this, is because the names and the people and the history from, from a guy and based out of Chicago to be on top of it.
And name to me, how many people have worked with people like that talent?
Yeah.
I mean, some people are territorial; they only want a certain person. But you've covered just about everybody: Curtis Turner to Jack to AJ to Bob.
I was real fortunate. I worked with a lot of the good drivers, no question about it, and they were all good. Every one of them, right? John Rostick on to Bowser. Like I admitted earlier, you knew Jack Bowser good. He probably was, in my opinion, one of the underestimated drivers. He was better than a lot of them guys, and I worked with them all, and I'm talking from experience. But certain, like with Curtis Turner, certain things stick out in your mind earlier in your career. Jerry Yunser was an excellent driver, see? And like I say, what qualified him for that IndyCar run, because he won the championship in the stock cars, so that made you qualify for, they would let you run Indy, which it probably ended up costing him his life.
I was just going to say, I believe he got killed.
Because he crashed, and them cars weren't the easiest to drive from what they tell me. You had to be, to drive them first maybe, and then drive a stock car, made the stock car easy. Them guys proved that part.
This whole era that you're talking about, and even going into the open wheel, my saying that I always say about that era was that's when men were made of steel and cars were made of wood.
That's a good philosophy. Yeah, real good.
Did we miss anything, Kyle?
I don't think so.
Do you feel we missed anything? Is there anything else you want to share? Because, we're just probably just scratching the surface of what is in there.
Well, like I say, at one time they nicknamed me Legal Lou because they would come up with these different things, and and I'd point out certain things in the rule books that weren't in there, and they're telling me that it's not legal. I said, it is legal. Show me where it's illegal. And then the next time they'd have it in there. And then, I don't know.
Pretty bad when the guy that's not an official knows the rule book better than the people who's supposed to know it back and front.
And then I can't remember who nicknamed me Legal Lou. I think it was Al Swenson.
Something that we didn't talk about was Uncle John. Am I got the name wrong?
Rostock?
No, he wasn't really your uncle or the kid's uncle. Who am I thinking of? Why can't think of his name here now? Maybe it's John Rustick that I'm thinking of, but they call him Uncle John.
Well, that's my kids called him Uncle John.
So okay, so I'm confusing myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was good. Good. I would say he would be like the Menard. To compare him today, he was a wealthy race driver. He was a home builder and motel builder in Fort Collins, Colorado. So, and my kids, actually, he's Lou's godfather.
Okay.
See, so my kids knew him as, the two boys knew him as Uncle John.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
the rest of the kids, they never got to know him, because he got killed in '69 in an airplane crash,
There is a Facebook group, USAC Stock Car Series. I don't know if you've ever seen it, and there's, quite a bit of discussion about John Rostick. A lot of pictures of him up there and things
was
like
it?
that. So yeah.
Okay.
So maybe you and
Would,
that over sometime.
is there anything you want to say about your relationship with Alan Kulwicki?
Oh, I was real good friends with Alan Kulwicki.
And I assume his dad, Jerry. I would assume.
No, with Alan.
Oh, okay.
And then he would ask me to go to certain races with him, and I would crew chief for him at certain races when I could, because I couldn't always do it. And then Lou Jr. would go with him when he could, because Alan would just pick up people as he went along.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alan talked to me just before he got killed. I was going to try to do some PR for him. Okay, it's 90.
He got killed in
'93.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to him in the beginning of '93 after he won the championship. And I was going to meet him after Bristol and all that. And I remember a guy called me up at midnight. I want to say April 1st in '93. And I answered the phone at my house. And he said, "Lou, are you there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Did you hear about Kulwicki?" I said, "No, what are you talking about?" And he says, "He crashed tonight. And we're not sure who was all in the plane." And he said, "I seen Alan last week and he mentioned you were coming down to talk to him about doing something with him." I says, "Yeah." I says, "After Bristol." And he says, "Well, they can't identify all the people who was in the plane. So thank God you weren't there." I said, "God damn." So you never know.
Never know. Right? No, that's right.
Another name for the list.
Right.
But Alan was good talent. But I helped him when I could in USAC. And he did good.
And his little yellow Camaro there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Lou Jr. would help him. And then I remember Lou Jr., he went to the banquet, and Lou Jr. had his morning radio show. He was the top morning guy in Des Moines, Iowa. And then he called Alan, and Alan said he would call him back, and he did. So he interviewed Kulwicki while he was in New York at the banquet.
Wow.
Yeah, the banquet's tomorrow, ain't it?
Yeah, Thursday.
This
Yeah,
weekend.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow? Okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was this weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
They're having it in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Well, the burnout competition's what day? I forget now.
So another name I'm starting.
It's Thursday.
If you want to go, we can go. But another name I keep thinking of is Freddie Lorenzo.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot with him. No, Freddie, I mean, we did it a little bit, but he was all part of the Home and Moody group. But I did actually more with it. I did a lot with Kulwicki, like I say, back in the USAC when I could. I can't say I did a lot. I probably went to a dozen races with him, crew chiefed him for a dozen times. And did all the Milwaukee ones.
Well, you lasted longer than Ray Abraham.
Yeah.
Well, everybody said Alan was so hard to get along with. How did you find him?
Do what?
A lot of people said working with Alan was so hard. You know, he was a difficult guy to get to know. But how did you find him?
Well, them guys are in their own world. Jack Bowser was probably the. I'll guarantee you can count all Jack's real friends on one hand. You know, maybe not even a. I'm talking about. He could say real friends. He was a tough one. I didn't find Alan, but Bowser was the hardest one to be close to. But once you were close to him, and I was close to him. I remember he left here Friday one time. He was sick then. And I asked his wife, Julie. He didn't, how did it go? He did. I knew he was in bad shape, and I said, Julie, is there something I should know about Jack? And I knew something was more serious, and she said, no, you don't want to know. I said, what do you mean I don't want to know? And she was never really revealed to me, but they knew all along that he wasn't going to last. But he was going to leave on a Friday, I remember.
From down here?
Yeah. He would go pick up parts from Jack Roush. He'd give him a bunch of parts. And then come by me and scrounge what he could off of me. Want to go look at our stock. Same like Trickle. You got a lot of axles. We need some axles. All right. Take a half a dozen of each. I might have had 50 axles there, So you'll take some pairs of axles and whatever. Always scrounge. And so he was leaving, and then Monday morning, this guy, Andy, was with them. He comes in the shop, and he says, well, Jack wanted to see you one more time. I said, well, what's he need now? He says, all right. I said, I'll be right out there. And then he was having trouble walking, so I walked out there. He said, okay, buddy. And he hugged me. 3 days later, he died.
It's like you knew, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You never know.
Well, I personally want to thank you for sharing.
As well as me. I appreciate you being on the show. I mean, Kyle has been all over me to have you on the show, and I was very excited. I didn't even know where to start. He would say, well, how about start here, start there? I said, well, we'll start at the beginning, and then we'll get as far as we can. And it's been
That's a long beginning.
Right. Well, but we
That's
covered
many years.
Well, a lot of times when I interview people, and nothing against them, but sometimes, I have to lead the interview, whereas I could just let you go, and it was perfect. I mean, and I can't thank you enough. So I appreciate you being on the show.
Like I've been a mechanic, connected with the mechanics union. A couple years ago, I got a pin for 68 years.
Wow.
So how long? So if you want to date back to when I was hooked up with the Unsers in 57.
Wow.
How many years is that, Kyle?
So that'd be what? 65 years, right? 64, 65?
60 something years.
So 64, 65 years.
Yeah.
But from 57 on up. Into 92, into 2022 would be 65 years.
Yeah.
Jerry in that 98 Ford.
66 years coming up.
Started there? Wow.
As long as I was in the union, just damn near,
Those companies that put out those little blue and gold stickers, congratulations on 20, 30 years. You got 68 now, right? Or whatever. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
One more year than I am old.
now you guys can duke that out. I don't know. You got me way beat. But again, Lou, sir, I usually don't shake hands on camera, but thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Excuse the iron grip.
That's you know what? A firm handshake is a dying breed now.
You know who used to tell me that? That's what I tried to think of. Emil Andrews is the name I was trying to think of earlier.
Yeah.
I think he might have been running, unless Markham was running USAC in Meadowdale.
58 or 59.
Who could have been?
When I just saw him, and he was in a wheelchair and not doing good.
Who?
Emil Andrews. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm sorry, I apologize.
He died.
Yeah, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, Markham ran ARCA and USAC. I've seen pictures of him sitting on the pit wall at Indy in 59. That's why I think it's funny when ARCA runs around, hey, Bill France and John Markham are great friends. They didn't talk for 10 years. They don't talk about that. You know, and Markham admitted that they didn't talk for a long time.
Oh, they have fallen out?
Well, when John started this series, I'm sure Bill did not appreciate that.
Wasn't crazy about it.
And then, like I say, he was the USAC stock car director. One of the old yearbooks, I looked it up and saw Markham as the USAC stock car director because they ran combo events for about 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah,
Because that's why Lorenzen is listed as winning ARCA races because they caught him for ARCA and USAC when Freddie ran 58 and 59. So,
Did you help anybody in the Safe series?
in where?
Safe series, you know,
that convertible series?
No.
Society for something, automobile something, safety or whatever. Yeah, because NASCAR bought them in what, 53 or 54, 55, something like that, 56 or whatever. Because it was out of Indiana, wasn't it?
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, okay. NASCAR wasn't into buying many series, but they bought them, and 3 years it was gone. Because Wellborn, didn't Bob Wellborn come out of there? And I forget who else.
And know that, I don't know.
Guys.
But...
Some of those guys come out of there, and so, yeah.
All right, cut.
They